Well, I'm not God, and neither are you. I'm Steve, the guardrail guy, and well, famous Amos, he asked me about, well, what about when a drunk driver hits a guardrail and is impaled? And a lot of despicable people of horrific moral character have benefited from my advocacy work, and I'm okay with that. In fact, I know I like to compare down. I'll be honest, and I think most of us do. The alternative of comparing up is not so good. I like to compare myself to drunk drivers or unethical people. But when I compare myself to the creator of the universe, I'm a whole lot closer to those bad guys than the other side. Mankind is created in the image of a holy and just God. It is not my place to decide who lives and dies. When we have a situation where a bad person who's done a bad act hits a guardrail, it's a non sequitur. It's unrelated. That if you were paid to install a guardrail impact head, that you actually installed it. That if you were paid to place the bolts in the guardrail, you actually did it. It's unrelated to the agency of the person that hits it. That you didn't falsify your crash test reports, or that you actually provided what you said you sold to the state. These are unrelated issues. Do I like drunk drivers? Absolutely not. There was one night I was working as a registered nurse, and I had a little 3-year-old kid on my floor. He was an orphan. His parents had been killed by a drunk driver who was also killed in that crash. I'm not an apologist for drunk drivers, but it is a non sequitur to say that the guardrail installer or the guardrail manufacturer is absolved of all responsibility for their actions because somebody else took a different horrific action. It makes no sense to me. I'd like the explanation for why it is acceptable to essentially have extrajudicial killing and maiming of people with guardrails, because that doesn't make much sense to me.